On your side with breaking news and the Tri-State's most accurate forecast. This is 9 News at 6.
Good evening. Why was the veteran police chief of Augusta, Kentucky fired? The reason remains a mystery tonight.
But the chief's termination is just one piece of a puzzle the I-team is trying to put together. 9 News anchor Brendan Keefe is here now with a story of drugs, accusations, and small-town politics. Brendan?
Clyde, we don't know why Chief Greg Cummins was fired after 33 years with the police department. We don't know why he was fired, but the city isn't talking tonight because the now former chief has filed this lawsuit. But Cummins is talking, and his allegations have hit this small town like a freight train. Augusta, Kentucky, population 1,200. It's a picture postcard town along the Ohio River. But beneath the surface, there are allegations as dark and mysterious as the river itself.
I'm going to fire you. If you were worried about your job before, I'll promise you, you need to worry about it because I'm going to get your job.
That's how veteran police chief Greg Cummins quotes Augusta Mayor John Laycock just before the mayor fired him.
Anything else on police?
Cummins had been the top cop in Augusta for 17 years. He was an officer before that, starting back in 1978, when his older brother was chief of police.
He retired, and I was promoted to chief. That was in '94.
But his 33-year career came to an abrupt end in December. The only reason, according to Mayor Laycock's termination letter?
Inability to work efficiently with him as the mayor.
The chief says the mayor had ordered him to stop investigating an officer under his command.
How you doing?
Kelly Baxter, a retired lieutenant from the larger city of Maysville, hired to work as a patrolman under Chief Cummins. Cummins believes Officer Baxter was investigating him in an effort to frame the police chief as a drug dealer. In fact, Cummins was so concerned, he even asked outside agencies to investigate his own officer. But the former chief says the mayor told him to stand down.
I would obey his orders, but I felt they were wrong. That he as a mayor did not have the authority to tell a police officer he can't investigate a crime.
Was there a crime? And if so, what was it? Chief Cummins says he found missing police reports hidden in the trunk of a patrol car 6 months after they disappeared. He suspected Officer Baxter of taking those records, including a confession by a burglary suspect, Stephanie Habermel.
And he told her, I'm going to lose that statement you gave me, but you can't tell anyone that I talked to you about my boss. You can't tell anyone that you were even in the police station, and your statement will go away. And essentially it had.
Habermel is currently serving 9 years in prison for unrelated crimes. But before she was convicted, Cummins says he went to Habermel's house to ask her to write a statement. Cummins says this is that statement. It says Officer Baxter wanted the young woman to help him implicate the police chief in the drug trade.
He hammered her for almost 2 hours.
About you?
About me. Asking the same questions over and over in a different style, different form, different wording, trying to get her to say that I was a drug dealer and that I was taking payments from drug dealers.
Could it be the police chief all these years helping drug dealers? He had made many drug arrests for decades, but he missed the biggest drug case in Augusta history. In 2007, the town's only family doctor was caught running a multi-state pill mill right across the street from the police department. Dr. Milton Brindley is in federal prison tonight. The Augusta Police Department was caught off guard, but there was no allegation Chief Cummins was involved in this or any other drug case.
If I'd been doing anything remotely like that, I couldn't have survived as a police officer for as long as I have.
The statement Cummins says he got from Stephanie Habermel quotes her, "If Greg was actually doing anything like that, I would know because of all the drugs I was doing and the people I was hanging out with." Cummins says another suspect signed a similar statement, claiming Baxter promised help with his case if he knew about Chief Cummins dealing marijuana and cocaine. Those statements were turned over to the Commonwealth Attorney and the state police, but by all accounts, investigators found no evidence evidence of criminal action.
In this case, the officer was breaking the rules, and I had a problem.
Mayor Laycock was asked by Cummins to approve his suspension of Officer Baxter. Instead, the mayor fired Chief Cummins. Again, the city isn't talking, but in its motion to dismiss the chief's lawsuit, it says, although Cummins may have been dissatisfied, Mayor Laycock is not required to second-guess the Commonwealth's attorney. So who's running the police department now?
Kelly Baxter. Same night I was terminated, he was made interim chief.
Anything you can tell us about what's going on?
And no comment.
So what in all of this is true? We don't know, because interim chief Kelly Baxter wouldn't answer our questions, and through their lawyers, the city council and the mayor have refused comment. So unfortunately, we have only the fired chief's side of the story. No one has been charged with a crime, and we found no evidence of an ongoing criminal investigation into Cummins, Baxter, or anyone else in this story. Cummins is suing the city to get his job back, claiming protection under Kentucky's Whistleblower Act, which the Augusta attorney says does not apply to municipalities. A Bracken County Circuit Court judge will hear the city's motion to dismiss later this week. Clyde?
Brendan, great work, and looking forward to hearing more on how this all turns out. Cupid may have to wear an overcoat on Valentine's Day. The forecast calls for snow.